What's going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today I'm going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some of the data points, what really moved it, and go over everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, SoFi did close 1.13% in the red. It actually did start fairly optimistic, so it had a nice push higher to around 807, and that was because of this data right here. So Chicago PMI, better than anticipated, so 46.6 versus 46.1 was the forecast, and this is more of a precursor into tomorrow's data, which is ISI manufacturing. Forecast right now for that is 47.2. And then of course, near the tail end of the day, you had good old Powell talking, and that is what kind of tanked somewhat-ish the broader market. And he did state a couple interesting points, one of which was the fact that right now, employment data is more important than GDP. And I think that can be seen as a very scary statement to make. And so even more important for the end of the week, so on Friday, when the unemployment rate is disclosed, the forecast right now is 4.2. So that is going to be what everyone and their dog is now going to really be paying attention to. Nothing actually coming out from SoFi itself, so no SEC filings, no press releases. So it was just kind of piggybacking off of the broader market. These are some of the transactions that did occur on the secondary market above $100,000. After hours was very active, and that's obviously linked to today being the very last day in Q3, so a lot of rebalancing, and you do see a lot of selling regrettably, and that's because SoFi in comparison to just the broader indexes did kind of outperform them. So that's what you get for rebalancing, I guess, essentially. But there was a couple big ones, 8.68 million, 1.8. Aside from that, even during the trading day, you saw some selling first thing, some buying kind of midway through, but it was just algos that was really dictating what is happening with SoFi, and not just SoFi, but the broader market. Shorts, though, they did return, so they took advantage and returned 1.3 million shares. So that is obviously countering a lot of this kind of selling that happened throughout the day. But shorts did return 1.3 million. 17.43% of the free float is being shorted. Works out to be 182.36 million shares overall are being shorted. Cost to borrow average 0.78, and then utilization is 45.35. So I don't know if shorts are kind of returned in anticipation of SoFi unveiling the date of their earnings. As I've brought up, historically, when they do announce their date of the earnings up until kind of their earnings date, if that makes sense. I know I'm saying it weird probably, but announcement date versus the physical date of their earnings usually results in like a 13% push higher. That was my basis of my video yesterday. I don't think, I must have said it weird because I had a lot of comments kind of very questioning on what I was trying to get to. So my apologies on that. So this is why I like to analyze this type of information on a side note, because shorts returning on a red day kind of shows that it wasn't really justified. So that's kind of a good takeaway from today. But as of right now, encumbering the data points that came out and what Powell said, as far as for the November 7th meeting, you now have a 37.1% likelihood of a 50 basis point cut. So that has gone down quite a lot. So on the 27th, so on Friday, it was at 53.3. So that did get hit quite hard. And aside from that, looking at options, 4.33 million in calls, 2.69 million in puts. So nothing really crazy dollar value wise, kind of the norm, if that makes sense. But 53% of all the options being done today were bearish. Of the call options that were purchased, you see consensus for it to be around the 850-ish. And then looking at puts, more so anticipating sub 750. So a little bit more upside is still anticipated based on this, but with today being Monday, this is the current open interest for this chain. So 17,000 at that 8, 12,000 at that 850, and then 12,000 at that 9. So starting to build up a little bit. And so typically the first 2 days of the week, so Monday and Tuesday, these do increase at least the closest chain by 40% each day. So again, something to kind of consider. As far as right now, with it closing at $7.86, it is trading between these 2 points, so right below this pivot. So $7.89 is going to be that strong kind of resistance point that you'll want to watch for SoFi to get above first thing tomorrow. And then aside from that, $7.68 will be that strong support. And then of course you guys can kind of take note of $8.10, $8.23, and then $8.44 as kind of the other resistance points. So essentially nothing really crazy to talk about on the technicals, just it's still above in the higher percentile, still above a lot of the key pivotal moving averages. So the technicals are looking still okay. Of course, the next couple of days are going to really dictate on what happens with SoFi. And like I said, especially based on what Powell mentioned, this will be a very, very key date or data point to really watch for. So that's coming out on Friday. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on all of that. And actually, I guess saying it out loud, especially with the labor market, there's a couple of other data points that are linked to consumers that could have that same effect to really cause some volatility. And that is right here. So Wednesday, ADP non-farm employment forecast right now is 128,000. And on that same day for Friday, non-farm payroll, 150,000 is that forecast. So all of those data points have the ability to really move the market, and shorts probably will be ready to pounce dependent on what the data points do say. So all in all, kind of just it's an okay day. So let me know your thoughts. Did you guys buy? Did you guys sell? Based on the momentum shows number of retail investors slightly got out. So are you guys taking profits? Are you guys worried about macro events, or are you guys just kind of mellow waiting for their upcoming earnings? So yeah, let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. And with all that said, appreciate all of you guys watching.